Hi. We're going to take a look at the best and worst of 2022 because the house that I was supposed to clean kind of flaked on me. Long story that's not very interesting. So let's jump right in, and we're going to take a look at the best vacuuming of 2022, and that would be in this art room. And the most common question I get about this is what kind of vacuum I'm using, and that is a Hoover Pet something or other Swivel XL. Which the motor in that vacuum is really good, but it's also made of really cheap plastic, so I'm not going to recommend that people buy it. I guess it's fine for occasional home use, but I've gone through a couple of these. That fur's been collecting for quite some time. We basically left that art room alone for like a year, and the dog takes naps in there, and she's got a lot of white fur. She's got a lot of brown fur too, but I mean, that's a brown carpet, so you can't really see it. But it built up for so long that finally, whenever I did the vacuuming, I actually don't regret it at all because, man, that's satisfying. And here, I'll show you everything combined that caused all that hair. You better get off my foot. Get off of my foot. Get off my foot. Frankie. Dusty. Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent. And that's what the art room looked like before. And in another video, I went ahead and redesigned the whole thing to make it look like this. Now, this is probably the biggest floor transformation I've done to date. This is linoleum, and this house was occupied by a pet hoarder. And so everything that you're seeing on that ground there is not just dust, but it is dog feces that sat long enough to turn to dust. And then even after I sweep it, it starts to look a lot better. But man, whenever I get it vacuumed, that's a whole nother story. Or mopped, not vacuumed. I didn't vacuum this floor, I mopped it because that's what mops do. That's what they make it shiny. Idiot. Idiot. Now this is the house that I was supposed to be doing today. And this is New Year's Eve 2022. But they ended up kind of flaking on me. This house had no heat and no hot water, and when I got there today, there was no water at all, and I can't really do much without water, so I texted them, they never got back to me, and I finally just left. That's a pretty crazy floor transformation there. I'm going to give this house the award for the most maggots in a kitchen that I've ever seen, and it's by far the biggest transformation of a kitchen. And also, while I'm watching this back, I'm thinking, This kitchen took something like 13 hours to do. I had to do it over a 2-day period, and it was absolutely exhausting. When I got home, my clothes smelled, I smelled like the smell in that kitchen was absolutely horrible. I have a lot of people who will start out saying things like, now what I would have done if I was there, and then the smart aleck side of me thinks, nothing. You would have done nothing if you were there. You would have stepped 1 inch inside that door, taken one smell of that house, and then just flopped off into the horizon like Daffy Duck. But I tell you what, when I got done with this one, I felt pretty good about the transformation. It was pretty crazy. Oh no, you take it in, baby. This is the house where I finally found my butt pants. Let's see that in slow motion. Look at that, baby. And then nothing else happened in that house. Well, I did clean the living room and also the whole house, but that was the most important thing that happened in that house. Rewind at your leisure. Now, this is the biggest, craziest, dirtiest transformation I've done to date, and no, I am wearing no protective gear. That's a long story, but it boils down to I would have ended up driving a total of 80 miles to get my stuff, clean this house, and then go back home because I was an idiot and forgot it. And instead of doing all that, it would have been a 40-mile round trip just to go get it and come back to continue the cleaning. I just said screw it and did it all naked-handed. It was dumb. It was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done because this place was just straight up toxic. Oh, yeah. Check the pink gloves. Now, this is the craziest transformation on like an item that I've done, especially on glass. All that brown stuff, one, isn't supposed to be there because ew. And then two, it is like insect feces, like roach and fly and fruit fly feces and vomit and all that. I just washed that with bleach and soap and it came that clean. And I did the same thing with the ceiling fan lights. I kind of half cleaned the ceiling fan itself. It needs to be replaced, but the fact that those things went from brown to white is nuts. Now, this one gets the award for the most diapers that I've ever seen on a floor. Those are used adult diapers. Now, given if this would have even had one used adult diaper on the floor, it would then be the most diapers I've ever had on a floor, but it just happened to have about 5 or 6 garbage bags full. This bathroom, the smell in here, you wouldn't have been able to take it. It was something. This award is definitely the most Pepsi cans in a living room award that I just made up just now. That's the award that it's getting. For those who haven't seen it, which I think everybody watching this video has probably seen it already, the stuff that I'm scraping off of there is literally urine and feces. So it also gets the award for the most feces I've ever scraped off of a floor. At least the most human feces I've ever scraped off of a floor. So I'm going to have to make up a trophy for that. I don't know if she would want it or not. But now this is the room that had the most junk in it out of everything that I've done. This is a ex-hoarder house. She eventually was removed. And then we found out that bed frame was an antique and expensive. Otherwise, this is the most stuff I've ever removed from a single room. And the transformation of that floor is way up there among the best I've ever done, because there was a lot of rodent feces on this thing. But I used everything from Pine Sol to Murphy's oil soap to get that clean. I just had to do it in layers because that's how I roll, son. Suck it. All right, sorry you couldn't watch me clean an actual new hoarder house today, but sometimes things just fall through. I put out the word that I'm going to be doing brand new cleanings among the Facebook groups that I'm a part of. That's how I find the people that I clean for, so suck it.